Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my July TBR, where we will be using my TBR jar to help me pick out my July reads. So before we jump in, let's quickly talk about my June TBR. I actually did such a great job reading through my June TBR, so I'm very excited. There's only one book on there that I did not get to. I did have one DNF in June, but overall my June TBR went pretty well. So I'm excited to pick out July's TBR. We're just gonna hop right in and pick our first prompt. A seasonal read. This is actually perfect because I'm going to the beach in July and I really wanted to bring a beachy read with me. So I'm looking for anything summery or beachy. I mean, immediately I see Ellen Hildebrand's The Blue Bistro, which I have been wanting to read all of Ellen Hildebrand's books. So this could be a good option. I'm honestly not really seeing anything that I would want to read more than this book. I mean, I do have When the Rivers Rise, which might be a fun summer read just based on the cover. I don't really remember what this book is about because it's been sitting on my TBR for so long. I also have Morwood Family Rules, but I don't think that this is particularly summery. I don't know, the cover is giving me kind of summer vibes, but I think that's just because of the colors and the blue in here. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go with The Blue Bistro by Ellen Hildebrand. I've read a lot of Ellen Hildebrand books and I feel like this will be the perfect book to bring with me to the beach. From what I can remember about this book, we have our main character who has just moved to Nantucket and she's looking for a job when she meets this guy who I think he's the owner or maybe he's the manager of the Blue Bistro. Oh, he's the chef. And so I think that's how she gets a job at the Blue Bistro, and then they kind of spark up a romance. Normally Ellen Hildebrand's books are pretty character focused, but they also normally involve some type of romance. Sometimes they involve a mystery too. I really enjoy her books, so I am very excited to read this one in July. So we have our first book going on the TBR. Okay, prompt number 2. This is a reread, okay. I'm actually really not sure what I would want to reread, and I don't have that many books in here that I would want to reread. So I might have to go look at my other shelf. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. Oh, you know what I do want to reread? I lost the dust jacket for this book so long ago, which was so sad. I've had this book since I want to say late elementary school. I can't remember for sure, but these books are like an OG YA dystopian book for me. Like, this is one of the books that really got me into reading when I was in middle school. Like, I read a good amount throughout elementary school, but then middle school I read a ton of books, and then it kind of tapered down into high school and then went back up when I went to college. Anyways, this is Fractured. It is book number 2 in the Slated series. My cat is rubbing against my tripod, so I'm sorry if the angle changed, but like I was saying, this is book number 2 in the Slated series, and I just reread Slated for the first time since I was like 10 years old, and I actually really enjoyed that book, so I'm very excited to read the second book. To my knowledge, this is a trilogy, so I want to reread the entire trilogy. Like I said, they are a YA dystopian, and in this dystopian world, if you break the law or anything like that, you get slated, which just means that their entire memory is wiped and they start over, but you have to be under 16 for this to happen. It's kind of a mystery of what happens to you if you're over 16 and you get taken by, it's kind of like policemen, but they have a certain name to them. I forgot what they're called. Like any dystopian books, there's secrets that our main character is trying to uncover. There's a bit of corruption as well. So it's a very entertaining read, and because it's YA, it's a super quick read as well. I highly recommend the first book. I don't remember anything that happens in this entire trilogy, so we'll see if I like the second book as much as I liked the first book. But if you're looking for a YA dystopian, I recommend that one. Fractured is the second book going on our July TBR. Prompt number 3. This is Trees on the Cover. Okay, let's see what we can find. Oh, I already see a couple options actually. We Were Strangers Once has trees on the cover. This is a World War II historical fiction book, and I definitely want to read this one very soon. Oh, The Death Cure also has trees on the cover, but I'm wondering if I should save this until the winter because of all the snow. Yeah, maybe I'll save this for the winter, or at least once it starts to get colder outside. I already knew Credence would have trees on it. I'm just so scared of this book. Like, I'm actually so scared of it. This book is probably the most intimidating book on my physical TBR. Okay, Ask Again Yes also has a bunch of trees on it. I think I would rather read a World War II historical fiction. I think this one is more of a literary fiction. I know there's some type of like family issues that go on in this book, but I don't know a ton about this one. And like I said, I just love a World War II historical fiction book. In this book, we have our main character. He is a Jewish doctor and he comes to America from Germany, I believe. and he's trying to obviously escape Germany because of everything that's going on over there. But it looks like he's having some issues in his new life in Manhattan. It looks like a lot of his friends are really struggling to find jobs, and there's some type of loss. Oh, and our main character, like I said, he is a doctor, but he's denied the right to practice medicine. Wow, I'm actually getting chills as I read the inside cover. This sounds like it's going to be a very deep and personal story, very character focused, and it's also a new perspective on World War II that I have not read before. Most of the books I read about World War II take place somewhere in Europe. They don't normally take place in America, so I'm very excited to read this one. It is going on the TBR. Book number 4. Color in the name. Okay. Off the top of my head, I don't know if I have any books with a color in the name on my physical TBR, but if I don't, we can scroll through my Goodreads TBR. Ooh, okay. The Silver Linings Playbook. This silver is a color. I would say silver is a color. Maybe it's not, but I would say it is. It's an option. Is silver considered a color?
The answer I found is silver.
Dude, what? This is why I never use Siri. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna count it. This is the Silver Linings Playbook. This is a movie, and I have seen the movie. I just didn't realize it was a book, but I remember really enjoying the movie. I don't remember a ton about what happens in the movie. I just remember there's 2 people, and I think our main male character is going through something. I think maybe someone in his life, maybe, I can't remember. Let's see. So Pat is our main character. It says, Pat has a theory his life is a movie produced by God, and his God-given mission is to become physically fit and emotionally literate, whereupon God will ensure a happy ending for him, the return of his estranged wife, Nikki. It might not come as a surprise to learn that Pat has spent time in a mental health facility. The problem is Pat's now home and everything feels off. No one will talk to him about Nikki. His beloved Philadelphia Eagles keep losing. He's being pursued by the deeply odd Tiffany. His new therapist seems to recommend adultery as a form of therapy, plus he's being haunted by Kenny G. In this enchanting novel, Matthew Quick takes us inside Pat's mind, showing us the world from his distorted yet endearing perspective. Okay, I definitely think I remember exactly how the movie ends, but I still think that this will be a fun read, so I am adding it to the July TBR. I'm actually really surprised that I had a book with the color in the name, even though this is my only option with a color in the name, but still, I'm surprised. Okay, book number 4. A yellow book. Oh, are you joking? I just picked a yellow book. Okay, we'll see what we have. Okay, let's see. I actually do have a couple yellow books off of first glance. Like The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. This is another book that I find intimidating for some reason. I don't know why though. I mean, this has some yellow in it as well, and this book sounds really interesting to me. This is The Seventh Plague. This actually is about this guy who, I think he's some type of researcher, and he's out in some desert in Egypt when he gets this deadly plague, and I think it's based on maybe some type of Egyptian plague, something like that. But when they find his body, they see that his body has already started to mummify before he had even died. So like something weird is going on, and I believe that this plague starts to spread, which is kind of scary to read about. I don't know if I would enjoy that, but it sounds so interesting to me. I do have a couple other yellow books, but they're non-fiction books. Does this count as yellow? Because I actually do really want to read this book. Is this yellow or is this orange? I mean, I guess it has orange and yellow in it. Ugh, I really want to read this book, but it feels like cheating if I put it on my monthly TBR because it's not like super yellow. I mean, this is a little yellow, but it's mostly red. I've got You Are a Bad, which I've been wanting to read as well. And this one is very yellow. It's just like, do I want to read a nonfiction in July? It feels like summer is not the time to read nonfiction. I don't know why. As much as I want to pick Educated, this feels so much like cheating, so I'm not going to pick this one. I'm going to put it back. Guys, I just realized this is book 12 in a series. I don't know if you need to read them in order. So tentatively, I'm going to put this on my July TBR, and if I find out that you have to read these books in order, then I'm going to put The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo on my July TBR instead. I will let you know which one ends up on my TBR. Since it's book number 12, like 12, which is really high, I feel like I could read this as a standalone and be fine, but I'm gonna do a quick Google search and figure it out. But like I said, I'm just really excited for this. Also, I don't know how I didn't realize that this is part of a series. I don't know. But the overall rating on Goodreads is a 4.07, which is honestly part of why I want to read this book. I also just don't think I want to start yet another series. I have so many series that I'm in the middle of. I need to start finishing some before I start another one. So like I said, I'll let you know which one of these ends up on the TBR. But for now, it's gonna be The Seventh Plague. Okay, last prompt. A book published this year. Okay, I definitely don't think I own any books published this year. Let me give it a quick look-see, but I buy most of my books used, which means I don't often buy like brand new books. Let's see. I mean, this one is brand new, but I don't know when it was published. Oh, it actually, I think it was published this year, actually. Yeah, it says 2026. I think Beth is Dead is the only book on my physical TBR that was published this year. And like I said, I really want to focus on my physical TBR this year and read as much of it as possible. So we're gonna go with this one. I also just read the Inside Just Jacket, and I read the Inside Just Jacket before, but this actually sounds so good. So we have these three sisters, and Beth is found dead in the very beginning, and all of her sisters are suspects. There's different reasons that they might have done this, but it also sounds like there's just a lot of suspects, because it goes on to talk about one of Beth's neighbors who has feelings for not one, but two sisters, which is crazy. And then it says one of her best friends is a suspect, one of her mentors, her first love is a suspect, and then it also says that even her dad is a suspect because months ago the March sisters were dragged into the spotlight when their father published a controversial bestseller about his own daughters. That's crazy. I'm actually really excited for this, and I feel like this could be a really fun summer thriller. So this is the last book going on our July TBR. And now for a quick recap of all the books on my July TBR. I feel like we have a good range of different genres, so I'm really excited for this TBR. Starting with The Blue Bistro by Ellen Hildebrand. This is Fractured, We Were Strangers Once, The Silver Linings Playbook, The Seventh Plague, and finally Beth is Dead. And that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you want to see any of these books in reading vlogs in the next coming months. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!